Hey friends, it's Abby Johnson, and I am here in my office, and it's very messy because I just had to move some stuff around, but I wanted to show you guys something. Um, you know how a couple weeks ago there was this big thing, everybody's removing statues and tearing down statues and everything. That really got me thinking and thinking about some different times in my life, and so I want to show you something. So I'm going to I'm gonna hold on, let me zoom in here. Okay, so see this, see that right there, the picture right there? That is a picture of Margaret Sanger sitting at the desk, and these are the women who helped her to start her first Planned Parenthood clinic. And this is her signing the deed to the first Planned Parenthood facility. Now, I wanted that picture so bad when I worked at Planned Parenthood. And so my husband, Doug, got it for me, and I had it hung on my wall. When I worked at Planned Parenthood, I had it hung in my office in the abortion clinic. Now, I want to show you something else. So, this right here, this right here, this brown, ugly thing right here, that is my Planned Parenthood Employee of the Year award. And I have it up here on my wall with some other awards that I have received in the pro-life movement. And I guess I wanted to show you these because I wanted to sort of say this. You know, people have said, "Oh, Abby, why do you still have that? Why don't you get rid of that?" And I guess, I could. I guess I could burn it. I guess I could throw it in the trash. I guess I could say I don't want to have this anymore. I don't want to be reminded of it. But here's the thing. I'm not ashamed of my past. And I'm not ashamed of that time in my life, because working at Planned Parenthood and doing what I did is part of why I am who I am today. And I know that I serve a God of mercy, and so I don't have to be ashamed of that part of who I am, because God has taken that part of me and he has redeemed it and he has made it into something good, and he has done something amazing with it. And so I don't have to live a life of regret, right? And so I can be a person who worked in an abortion clinic. I can be a person who did really terrible things, but also be a person who is good. I can be a person who did terrible things, but also be a good person. Just because I used to be a person who admired Margaret Sanger so much that I wanted a picture of her on my wall doesn't negate the fact that I am a good person. I was just a misguided person. I mean, all of that to say, I feel like we're living in a culture now, a society now, that we just want to erase things and people and our history that we don't agree with, that make us feel uncomfortable. And that, to me, feels really, really dangerous. Because if you don't remember history, if you don't learn history, if you don't know history, then you know what they say, you're destined to repeat it. And so I don't want to get rid of my picture of Margaret Sanger. I don't want to burn it. I don't want to take it to the dumpster. I don't want to throw it in the trash. I want to remember where I came from. I want to remember who I once was. I want to remember how excited I was that day when I received that gift. I want to remember walking into that clinic every day and looking at that picture of Margaret Sanger and thinking, you know, I'm striving to be like her. I want to remember that because I want to remember where I came from, because I want to remember the goodness of God and that He pulled me out of that and that He set my path straight. I don't want to forget it. I don't want to pretend that it didn't happen. And I want to celebrate that. And I just feel like in our country, yeah, we've had some dark history. Yes, we've had slavery. We've had some dark times. We've had people that have done some terrible things. We still do. We're never going to be immune from that because evil never rests. Evil never sleeps. And when there is good, there's always going to be evil. That's part of human nature. That's the fall of man. That's what sin is. But do we just erase things? Do we just erase people because of that? That seems dangerous. I want to remember our history. I want to speak about our history. I want to be able to tell my children that this part of our history was wrong. This part of our history was tragic. This is why it was bad. This is why we don't want to do this again. This is why we have these laws. This is why we have these guidelines in place so that this doesn't happen again. But if we erase it, then do certain things even make sense anymore? And then if they don't make sense, then why do we do it at all? Then do we just go back to repeating it? I don't know. I feel like things right now don't make sense. I don't want to forget where I came from. I don't want this country to forget tragic history, dark history. It's important that we remember. It's important that we teach our children. Canceling our history. It seems like we're setting ourselves up for a very dangerous future.